house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may see all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum, Hunabku, Eva Maya, E Maho. Ayum, Hunabku, Eva Maya, E Maho. Ayum, Hunabku, Evam Maya, E Maho.
reading. So we're talking about the calendar. Something. Thank you. Sorry about that. I had another video pop in, but thank you so much. There's no sound here. Okay, let me see. Can't hear you. Can you hear me now? I know that that video was playing. Hope you can hear me now. Okay, great. Sorry about that. I had a video come in after the last one. Welcome to Soul Purpose Healing. This today, the last day of November, I think is so significant for us to come together in harmony in nature. The end of that 7 direction galactic prayer is all about harmony of mind and nature. It's all hail the harmony of mind and nature. Ayum hunabku evamaya emaho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature. Now, I watched a movie with my son, my 45, just turned 45-year-old son, called The Wild Robot. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. It's an animated film about a robot who becomes in harmony with nature. So I just figured that out from that prayer. All hail the harmony of mind and nature. I think that's why my son and I both enjoyed this movie. Now, he had seen it before, and it actually won, I think, an Oscar nomination. It was my first time viewing it, but I was very, very impressed. And one of the wisdom statements that came out of this animated movie, all hail harmony of mind and nature. This was all about mind, robot creation, mind becoming harmonious with nature. Really different theme there. And one of the themes was, if you don't let go of programming, you will not evolve. If you don't let go of programming, you will not evolve. So let me play welcome my tiny house village. Think about that, the programming many of us have been in since childhood. Are you still holding on to that? Because today's topic is about the calendar, which is all about programming. But welcome to Tiny House Village and all the lack of programming that goes with it. How about that one? So come on in to my renovated cabin, warehouse, whatever you want to call it. This house where I live now was an empty shed, 320 square feet of wood floor, wood walls, and nothing else. And the Most High gave me a thought in my mind and said, why don't you live there? So I went to work selling my tiny house on wheels and put all that money into this renovating, painting, floor, new bathroom, kitchen, bathtub, all the things that you need to be comfortable. So here I am doing this weekly by 2 shows a week. And I got my computer fixed. Yay! Today, only $200. But it works perfectly now. I hope I won't be coming in and out. I won't have to jump here and there. And this show today is the calendar misalignment. And some of you might think, well, there's nothing wrong with the calendar. What's wrong with January to December? 30 days here, 28 days here, 31 days here. What difference does it make? Well, the more I study with my family, my synchronistic family, and I want to put their website up because Neb Taharka is a master teacher on synchronism, multidimensional awareness, consciousness, and learning about the calendar. And it is becoming so important in my mind that we understand what happened to the calendar and why things are crazy in this society. For instance, today I heard about a young woman, 19 years old, who I believe took her life. They haven't come out with it, but the word is that she took her life, suicide, took her life. And she was what's called a cosplayer. Now, I didn't know anything about it, but it kept coming up on my phone as I was scrolling. I'm like, who is this person? 19-year-old melanin woman. And she was very much into cosplaying. So I want to first of all do what I did is like, what is cosplay? I mean, who cares? Well, if you ever watched the animated entertainment called anime, which my family just loves, I hate it because it's all it's a Japanese or Korean created entertainment, all white figures, all straight hair. It's like no culture in it whatsoever. But evidently, a lot of people are into this anime entertainment. So I think it behooves us, especially seniors, to know what's going on. Because a 19-year-old took her life over the energy of this type of entertainment. First of all, let's look at what is cosplay. Let me bring up the definition so we can all be on the same page, because this younger generation needs a lot of help. And the more we know about what they're doing, maybe the better off we're going to be trying to assist them in this journey they're on. So, what is cosplay? Let's start there. Okay, let me bring up the definition. Cosplay culture, we got that on the screen. Yeah. Cosplay culture is a global phenomenon. And I do mean global. I got some video of people and girls in Kenya, dark-skinned girls in Kenya following this, where fans dress up as characters from pop culture such as anime, manga, video games, comics, to embody and celebrate their favorite figures. It combines costume and play, involving both making or buying detailed costumes, performing in character through poses, dialogue, skits. Culture fosters a sense of community through conventions, online forums, and events where cosplayers can share their passion, showcase their skills, and express themselves creatively. Now, when escaping reality helps define it. So to cosplay is a Japanese portmanteau of costume and play coined by Nobuyuki, whatever. Okay. So my family watches this all the time. Their dad lets them watch it all the time, and I go by and I'm like, what do they see in this? I don't understand. It's certainly not African American culture or African culture. It's Japanese culture. So there has been this real fascination with this anime Japanese culture, and they call it cosplay. So here's another explanation. And I'm going to get to the whole calendar, because I believe a lot of this confusion, sadness, chaos, whatever you want to call it, is rooted in the calendar. So what is cosplay? Let me play another one here for you that explains cosplay to those of us who don't know and who really didn't care until now, until I said someone taking their life over this? Really? Okay, let's go here and find out more about what is cosplay. Okay, this is only a minute and a half. Here we go.
So it's anime and cosplay in Kenya.
I came to know about anime when I was a teenager, because that's when I knew, oh, it's not a cartoon, it's an anime. And I came to realize, oh, it's a whole thing and it's a whole culture and it's a whole community behind it.
I remember I used to watch Dragon Ball Z, but that time I didn't know it was
Yeah,
anime. I thought it was a cartoon.
Yeah.
These are-
Anime has been there, it's just growing with time. People are getting to know more about it.
This has been going on since 2016. Like, people have been meeting up for anime and DC, whatever nerdism you engage in since 2016.
Cosplay, basically, what it says is costume
Role
play.
play.
So you dress up as a character from an anime, and that's just it.
So character likeness, how much do you look like the character?
Some parents see anime as just cartoons,
You're like gonna
which
hate
is
me.
true.
You're like
What's your
gonna
take on
hate
this
me.
perception?
Hizo cartoons zako zenye unawatch.
Also, it's
Nah.
it doesn't bother me
Nah.
at all. Most of the most popular anime we enjoy today, Jujutsu Kaisen, is for kids. Naruto is for kids. One Piece is for kids. So yeah, it's never bothered me when people are like anime is for kids. Anime is cartoons. I say this as someone who's been watching anime for 15 years. Anime is cartoons.
Okay, you get the idea. Anime is a cartoon, and cosplay is dressing like the cartoon characters in there. So today, Ashley, one of the popular cosplay TikTokers, whatever you want to call her, took her life some days ago or a couple of days, I don't know. She's transitioned and left many people wondering what the hell happened. Let's dive into that. Okay, here's a young lady talking about Ashley, who was a cosplayer. Let me bring her up so we can really understand what is going on. Why would a 19-year-old want to take her life? Well, it gets deep and deeper and deeper. But here's someone expressing sadness over the whole thing.
Cosplayers on this platform, Ash passed away sadly due to racist comments on their cosplays. Ash was one of my favorite Black cosplayers on TikTok, and whenever I did inspiration, I would go over to their account and look at it and be like, oh, this is so cool. It's really hard to continue posting. I feel like for most Black cosplayers, when you get comments degrading you because of your skin color, something you cannot change. This is a really heartbreaking moment for the cosplay community as a whole. I never personally knew Ash, but I always loved their videos and I always liked their videos. So I just hope the cosplay community gets better, and just know that hate really does kill. Like, your comments can drive people to, hurt themselves, and it's been a problem with the cosplay community for a while. So rest in peace, Ash. I'll always love you.
Okay. So Ashley, I think she was called Squid Kid, 19 years old, very dark melanin, beautiful young lady. What I saw of her cosplay characters, she is amazing creativity. Amazing creativity. This young woman was dressing in the wigs and the makeup and the hair, just like Halloween or something, but very creative young lady, 19 years old. And now the community, especially melanin community, says the reason that she's not here is because of the racist comments and attacks. I'm just almost speechless to see and hear this at this point, because we have not, and when I say we, I mean collectively, the parents and grandparents have not prepared these young people to have tough skin. Back in the 40s, let's say 30s, 40s, 50s, melanin people went through hell. I mean, the lynching and the murders and the cruel treatment, you can't even imagine what our ancestors had to go through, not to mention my fairer skinned ancestors who were mostly Native American, who were mixed with Irish and all other kinds of European. But even on my father's side, who is a lot darker, the slave, and they went through hell. And they lost their lives not by suicide, but by lynchings and some things more horrible. Now, today, we have a 19-year-old who couldn't take the hatred coming at her on social media. Grandmas, it's time for us to really think carefully about how we can help these young people. It's really sad how thin-skinned they are. Because to me, anytime you're going to put your face on social media, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, you better have some tough skin, because there are just too many haters out there. And I might add, most of the videos that I see is Black on Black hatred. Yeah. Black people beating up on each other, smacking each other. This younger generation, I think, Black or white, does not know how to resolve conflicts. The conflict resolution was not taught obviously in elementary, high school, or college, and especially in the home, okay? So I'm a little confused about why you want to come out and play the victim card at this stage of the game. Ashley chose, like many of you young people, to be cosplaying. Great. Create your anime and all your characters, whatever. Be creative. That's what we're here to do. We're here to be creative. Okay? I don't have any problem with that. When I see somebody, if you go find Ashley's Squid Kid, she's probably all over the internet right now. In fact, I might have a picture of her. I had it on my flyer today of her creativity. Beautiful, beautiful creativity. You're going to have jealousy. When you're creative, you're going to have jealousy pop in there, hatred pop in there, all kinds of negative energy to bring down the goddesses, the queens, the kings who use their creative energy to express themselves. So we have, to me, we have an epidemic of hatred right now. And it's so sad in a way, but I understand the chaos we are experiencing right now to transition from this third dimensional chaos, confusion, hatred, racism to a more peaceful planet. So we're in the middle of this transition from the ignorance and the stupidity and the hatred and So my brother said, trigger warning. It's not about racism. I'm sorry. It's not about racism. I'm not sorry. It's about hatred, pure hatred and ignorance. Because at this stage, if you have people coming on your social media page, your expressive platform, telling you they don't like you, they hate you, get out of here. Get out of here. You have to have some tough skin to be operating on any social media platform because there's too many hatreds. Now, that's the third dimensional perspective that I have on this whole hatred, racism, victim. I'm a victim. No, you're not a victim as much as you don't have thick enough skin to be in this arena of social media and hatred. That's what comes up every day. Hatred. I hate you. And like I said, there's more Black people hating each other than I see hating the other race, like it was in the 50s, 60s, or let's go back. I'm just saying 30s, 40s, 50s. It was more white on Black hatred or Black on white hatred, in my opinion, from what I've studied. These days, it's Black on Black hatred. You're just hating yourself. And there's so much self-hatred evidence in the way people are dressing and wearing their hair and all that. There's self-hatred. There's black on black hatred. So what is really going on? Let's take a higher dimensional perspective now on all this hatred that is creating suicide and all kinds of lack of love. The calendar issue is what we study on the Synchronistic Human family. And I'm going to put up their website. If you want to evolve out of all this hatred and confusion, I highly recommend you go to Neb Taharka's website, Synchronistic Human Family, where we study the higher perspective on the society we live in. And Neb Taharka teaches all about evolving. Now, some of you religious folks out there might think evolving is a dirty word. That's okay. It's okay. Sunday school is very comfortable. So stay in Sunday school if that's where you want. But in the Synchronistic Human Family that I'm in, it's all about evolution. In fact, as I told you in this, the Wild Robot movie animated that I watched with my son yesterday, one of the comments or one of the lines in this movie was, if you don't come out of the programming, you are not going to evolve. So we have been programmed in this Gregorian calendar for eons, for too long. And I'm starting to see from studying with Neb and the Synchronistic Human Family that this is why we have endless wars and hatred and confusion, because we are so out of alignment with the natural order of nature and calendars. So of course, I'm going to show you what happened in 1582 with the calendar that started all this damn confusion. It's always man bringing in confusion. So we have this history. It's history now. Don't take my word for anything. Do your own research because it's there. YouTube is a university of research and history. You don't even have to save your LPs and CDs. It's all on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, punch in a song you remember, and it's there. So we really should make good use of YouTube and now even AI that'll give us all the data we need. But I want to show you this little history about the calendar that we all missed in school because they didn't want us to know this. But it's very significant to understand why all this hatred and suicide and confusion, especially about your culture and who you are. So I'm going to show you 4th of October, 1582, what happened back then that I believe started this misalignment of energy that we have now, endless wars that has filtered into social media and everywhere you can find it. So pay attention to this little history about the Pope and the calendar.
Hello and welcome to History Pod. On the 4th of October 1582, Pope Gregory XIII implemented the Gregorian calendar. By the 16th century, a sizable drift had developed between the Julian calendar, the lunar calendar, and the real moon. Consequently, the date on which the Church celebrated Easter had begun to move away from the time that it had been celebrated by the early Church. The Catholic Church disliked this seasonal drift, and so decreed the papal bull Integravissimus in early 1582. This was intended to reform, or, in the words of the Latin text, restore the calendar to align with that at the time of the First Council of Nicaea in 325. 13 centuries worth of accumulated variations between the existing and new calendars meant that the change to the Gregorian calendar would lead to the deletion of 10 entire days. Consequently, in the territories that adopted the new calendar, the day after the 4th of October 1582 became the 15th of October, although the day of the week didn't change. The Gregorian calendar was originally only planned to be adopted by the Catholic Church and the Papal States, since to become a nation's official calendar it had to be approved by the civil authorities. Other Catholic territories did implement it on the specified date, however, such as those territories governed by Philip II of Spain and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Many more Catholic countries adopted it soon after, but Protestant governments initially rejected the change. Despite this slow uptake, by the end of the 18th century, most of the countries of Western Europe, including the sizable British Empire, had switched to the Gregorian calendar to ease international trade. The Gregorian calendar is now the most widely used calendar in the entire.
Now, what do you think that type of shift or realignment does to the collective minds, bodies of people? Let's look at another video that brings to light maybe nature and how nature was affected by this shift in the thinking of the Pope and all the men, the male dominant patriarchal system that creates wars and more wars and more wars. Okay, are we starting to get it? What's the difference between, say, the lunar calendar going according to the moon and the stars and the sun, and this Gregorian calendar, which is pretty much all male-dominated patriarchal system that was brought in to confuse us, maybe. Maybe a little confusion happened there. Let's look at this part of the story, his story.
Its rhythmic cycles of the moon offers a more natural way to track time. Unlike the Gregorian calendar, which is fixed and often disconnected from nature, the lunar calendar aligns with the changing seasons and agricultural cycles. This connection fosters a deeper understanding of the environment, guiding planting and harvesting. Cultures around the world celebrate lunar phases, creating a sense of community and tradition that transcends mere dates, enriching lives with meaning and purpose. Did you know that the lunar calendar, with its rhythmic cycles of the moon, offers a more natural way to track time? Unlike the Gregorian calendar, which is fixed and often disconnected from nature, the lunar calendar aligns with the changing seasons and agricultural cycles. This connection fosters a deeper understanding of the environment, guiding planting and harvesting. Cultures around the world celebrate festivals based on lunar phases, creating a sense of community and tradition that transcends mere dates, enriching lives with meaning and purpose. Did you know that the lunar calendar...
Okay, so I think you get the idea that the Gregorian calendar, which became fixed and disconnected from nature, from 1500 to fast forward, we've had this disconnection, serious disconnection of energy from nature, and it's a fixed 31 days here, 30 days here, 28 days here, no relationship to the moon, the stars, or anything, basically. January, February, March, all the way to December, his story became the programming of the whole planet. Now, we accept this because most people go to work. They have to be at work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then the weekend, programming. We have fun on the weekend. And this has been the rhythm that most people have been in for hundreds of years. So we have accepted the programming. That's why this movie really, The Wild Robot, you got to watch that, because it really brings to mind the idea of programming being a problem and to evolve. You're not going to evolve if you stay with that program. Now, there's a biological program being run called German New Medicine. That program is very direct and not unchanging, because this human body has has all kinds of systems going at once, but it's the mind that changes. It's the mind that changes the program. Okay. So that prayer of the galactic directions, it's at the end, Ayum Hunabku Evamaya Emaho. We want to bring harmony with mind and nature, mind and body, mind and microbiome. We don't have that in this generation at all. I'm suggesting this young generation is so confused. Number one, because the parents have been missing in action for the most part, trying to survive, trying to make money, whatever the excuses we give. And even some grandparents missing in action, so that we have not been guiding this younger generation in their own culture, in morals, in nature. So Houston, we have a serious problem. 19-year-old takes her life because people hating on her cosplay, creative costumes. If it wasn't so sad, we would all be just frozen. It's so sad. And yet it's a wake up. It's a serious wake up call. That's why I'm talking about this tonight. So let's move into more war. So this is why we have these endless wars. The calendar has been off for years, disconnected from nature. No wonder we have a whole generation that's disconnected from nature. The energy of time and weekly activities and all that is out of alignment totally with nature, with the creator and everything. So recently we have this situation with Ethiopians in Minnesota. Now, some of you might think, oh, that's too political. We shouldn't be talking about that. This is all about Earth's energy from Africa to Minnesota. We got a connection here, folks. So I want to just show you a connection between actually Gregorian versus Ethiopian calendar, because Somali community in not only Minnesota, there's a huge population, but in Dearborn, Michigan, there's a huge population. Why is this happening? I'm going to tell you my interpretation of why we have all these refugees in our country who really don't want to be like us or Americans or traditional, whatever. They want to do their own thing. And now the president is wanting to kick them out because they're finding corruption in these areas. What else is new? The whole government's corrupt, in my opinion. But the wars that have been going on between Ethiopia and Somalia, it's because the United States just can't keep their military out of other people's business. Okay? That's my opinion. It's just my opinion. If you have another opinion, feel free to chime in. And if you want to call in, I'll put my number up. If you want to call in, if you have any comments that you want to speak on the phone about, I'll put my number in. But feel free to comment here if you know anything about this subject area, because we need to start correcting this energy as much as possible to get back into harmony with mind and nature, especially with our youth. So here's one more little history about Gregorian and Ethiopia calendar. There's a connection. And of course, Ethiopia and some. If you want to know, I'm not going to go into the war between Ethiopia and Somali, all on the east coast in the Horn. I think it's in the Horn of Africa. It's amazing. It's the history of it is just fascinating, amazing. And the military of the United States always has to interfere with other people's business. That's part of the problem. So we cannot just disconnect from all these foreign historical conflicts. We just need to get out of it. Stop being involved, in my opinion. But here is a little story about Gregorian and Ethiopian calendar that I couldn't believe how it came up. Listen up.
In 2023, Ethiopia is still in the year 2016. This intriguing time disparity stems from differences between the Ethiopian Ge'ez calendar and the widely used Gregorian calendar. The 7 to 8 year gap is attributed to varying calculations concerning the annunciation of the birth of Jesus. In 2023, Ethiopia is still celebrating God's time in 2016. But how did we end up with two drastically different calendars? It all boils down to the celestial bodies we chose to follow. The Gregorian calendar, which most of the world is familiar with, takes its cues from the sun. It's a solar-based system, meaning it's based on Earth's revolutions around the sun. Contrarily, the Ethiopian calendar, or the Ge'ez calendar, is a lunar-based system. It's structured around the moon cycle, resulting in 13 months, 12 of them having 30 days each, and a 13th leap month with 5 or 6 days depending on the year. And of course, these astronomical differences lead to cultural ones too. While much of the world rings in the new year amidst winter's chill in January, Ethiopians celebrate their new year, Enkutatash, in the warmth of September. Now imagine having New Year's celebrations when everyone else is returning from their summer vacations. These calendar differences do more than just change the date. They change our entire perception of time. Imagine the ripple effects of celebrating New Year's in September, as in the Ethiopian Ge'ez calendar. It's not just about adjusting to a different party schedule. It's about how societal norms and expectations shift with the flow of time. So, as we navigate through our years, remember, our perception of time is not universal, but rather a cultural construct that varies across the globe.
Cultural concept that varies across the globe. And here we are, 2025, the Somalians from way over there in the Horn of Africa migrated over here, partly because of the United States can't keep their guns and bombs out of other people's countries. So we create these refugees from other countries that end up over here. And now we have somewhat of a war in Minnesota, the middle of the United States, a war going on of sorts, not the guns and bomb type, but a war of cultures, basically. If you ever visited Minnesota, I've been there once, and this was probably 20 or 30 years ago, but I noticed even then a Muslim culture, head covering, see whatever we call the head coverings and all. I noticed even back then a considerable number of Muslims in that area. Over the years, it's grown. Why? Because we keep creating refugees. The United States military, not minding their own business. And I think it's a great thing that we offer sanctuaries from the war and bombing that we're performing in other countries, but we just don't know how to handle the cultures, right? I would say it's a cultural war in Minnesota, where people from a foreign country, Somalia, have planted roots in Minnesota. And they've decided, I think they have, in my opinion, a sense of entitlement that since they're here as refugees, we might as well get all we can get and send it back home. That's what the story is. I don't know. It's allegedly that our government is accusing them of taking money and using it inappropriately, we'll say. So not using the money as it was intended, for instance, for autism programs and homeless programs. Instead, the money went back to home, Somalia. Culture problem. It's a culture problem. They're going to be loyal to their culture, their citizens in Somalia. So the war is that they don't want to go back, and yet our president says you got to go back because you're just not following the plan. That you're not following the programming that all the other Americans have been following all these years. And so we have somewhat of a war. Who's going to win the war? Want to take any bets on this? Who's going to win this war? The ones with the biggest guns and the biggest egos, and it's usually government mongers, okay? So what can we do about this? I have synchronistichuman.com on the screen, because I encourage all of you to check out this website and check out Nebtarka's, maybe become a member of this family where we are evolving. Because as the video said, if you don't let go of the programming, you're not going to evolve. Many of us believe in this conscious community. That's what we're here for, to evolve. I don't want to stay in kindergarten. I don't want to stay in Sunday school. I have graduated from those classes and I'm moving on. Now, I had personal experience with someone who recently passed, my partner, Mikhail. My friend said I didn't mention his name, but he is forever teaching me lessons about his life, 78 years on this planet. And he was programmed in the Seventh-day Church, and he couldn't let go of that, just couldn't let go of it. And so knowing him for 5 years, I saw that he could not let go of that programming of the religious organization that he joined and connected to and attached to and was addicted to and all that. So in that system, the Bible tells them, the programming of that system, there are 6 days that you work, and the 7th day is a rest day. Okay, now that's biblical understanding, traditional biblical understanding. 6 days of work, 7th day you rest. Genesis there's in New Testament, if you're a Bible study student, you're going to follow. Not everybody though. No. Then there was the Sunday. Now, what happened? Why did the Christian community move to Sunday? Because the Pope and the historic, the patriarchs, the male-dominated religion system said, we need to go to Sunday. Now, you have to read. I'm not going to go into that history, but there's a lot on why we moved from the 6 days you work, 7th day is rest, and then we moved over to the 7th day of Sunday. So it's confusion galore. What happened to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Saturday seems like the 6th day, but no, the Pope decided and Constantine decided, no, we're going to do this instead. We're going to count Sunday as the 1st day, and Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday's the 6th day. The 7th day is rest day, according to Ellen G. White. And then, of course, Jesus was killed was crucified on the 6th day, and 3 days later he arose. Let's see, 6, 7, 8. Wait, that's the 8th day. Confusion galore in the religious-minded system of men and religious system. So why are we confused about cultures of squid kids and cosplay? Because his story, I say his male dominated story, has put us in this box of programming, especially when it comes to the Bible and how it was interpreted. 6 days work, 7th day is either Saturday or Sunday, whatever you prefer. And then there's confusion galore. So Obadiah Young is calling in. I don't know, did he call in by mistake? No, he hung up. So I guess he didn't want to say anything. So I'm just saying, when we're looking at a younger generation that is totally confused about so many things, we need to step up to the plate. Anybody who's conscious, got their minds, their marbles working, start looking at the synchronistic human family and the calendar issue that is causing more confusion than we could imagine. And now is the time to take a second look at that. So we've got a comment here from Higher Learning. That's my sister Zelda. Grand evening, beautiful queen teacher. Indoctrination keeps us in a place we don't want to be longer than we want to be there. We have been indoctrinated in the Christian religious system for way too long, because it has taken our mind out of nature, alignment with the stars, the moon, the sun, the skies, bees. Cultural differences are all about, well, in Ethiopia, they're celebrating seasons according to the calendar. Their calendar is off from everybody else, 16 years or so. But we, the rest of us, Gregorian calendar following programmed individuals, are indoctrinated, as Zelda said. And so we're going nowhere fast in this society, and our young people are confused as heck about everything. Young people darker than me are following a Japanese animated program called cosplay. And then when somebody attacks them because of they think because of their skin color, I think it's more about jealousy because you have created something out of their culture that they didn't think of. Maybe, I don't, it's confusing sometimes, but I realize it's just about confusing and mentally out of alignment with time and so much more. So here we are, 2025. And all I can say is I want to play this very popular song that really does say a lot about what we need right now in this world. And some of you may know this song, because every day the problem is love. Number one, love for self. And number two, Stevie Wonder says it best. It's all the hatred is because, in my opinion, it has a lot to do with the rhythm of nature and alignment with this damn calendar that was tinkled with 1586. And it's time for us to look at the programming we have from Monday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, till the end of the 7-day period, and ask yourself, are you flowing with nature, or are you programmed by the Gregorian, male-dominated, tinkered with calendar, days of the week, days of timing? Let's see, we got another comment here. We are to flow like energy with nature, nature's flow with our being self. Yes, yes, yes. 963B for you. Now, my partner friend, thank you for that flow. That reminded me what I wanted to say about flow. My friend who passed recently, my partner, intimacy, and then Cuba trip, all these things that made us spiritual partners, he could not flow. He couldn't flow. He was stuck in the past of his abusive childhood, stuck in the war, the jungles of Vietnam, stuck in the religion of his ancestors or his father, his parents maybe, stuck in so many places that didn't flow with nature. You know what I mean? When you flow, like she said, the energy with nature does not stop and rest on Saturday. Sorry, it's not happening. They don't rest on Saturday. The birds are doing everything they do. Now they rest at night. I don't hear from the birds at night, but resting on Saturday, unheard of. Unheard of. So why are so many of you caught up in 6 days we work, and the one Saturday or Sunday, depending on what programming you have up here, you're going to rest? And you don't rest because you're going to a restaurant and doing that, and you're doing that. You're not resting your body. Now, what I've decided to do is on Saturday, which is just a day because I'm in that mode with my family. They're doing their thing. I don't eat any food on Saturday anymore. I let my body rest from digesting food all day. No solid food. I'm drinking water, tea, and that's it. I'm drinking mostly water and tea, and I do just great. In fact, my pains usually go away. What little aches and pains they go away on the rest day because I'm not eating. Flow. Eddie Harris has sent me a text that says flow is a 5. All right, here we go again. The numbers guy. Rest is a 5. Thank you, Brother Eddie. So if we don't get in rhythm with nature and out of the rhythm of Gregorian male-dominated energy, we're going to see more. We're going to see this chaos and confusion continue until we stop being programmed, walking in the programs of man, and start walking in the program of nature. We're going to see chaos, confusion, suicides, death. In fact, even the suicide rate among veterans is still very high, 20 some a day. They're out of the flow. They're out of the flow of nature and resting in the present moment. Many of them can't leave the jungles of Vietnam. They're still recycling the trauma from the wars and the child abuse and all that, recycle until they can flow with today and the nature that's all around us. They're going to be suffering and in pain, as my partner was. He could not come out of the past traumas, injuries, and so he suffered and was in pain the last few, in fact, the whole last year of his life was painful. And he couldn't get out of the programming of religion and childhood traumas, all of that. So here's the thing. Stevie Wonder says it all. This is what we need to think about, having more compassion. I met a 73-year-old man standing on the side with a sign saying, and this man has been there for a long time. He's there a lot on the same street that I pass. I reached out, I couldn't find enough dollars to give him. And I stopped, the light was red. So I asked him, who are you? What's your name? How old are you? 73 years old. I told my son this story and I said, I gave him some money. And my son said, well, he ought to be able to just go out and get a job. I wanted to slap him when he said that. 73 years old? How about you in your nice car, air-conditioned car and your nice job and your nice house? Just offer him a gift of love. That's how I feel about things today, is that I am so blessed. I could give the shirt off my back to some people. 73-year-old on the corner, limping, thin as hell. And you're saying, well, he ought to go out and get a job? Shut the F up. What are you talking about? Is that the heart that many people have? Well, he should just get a job at 73. No, you should be helping him because you're 45. How about that? Take a deep breath. Let's just listen to Stevie Wonder remind us of where our hearts should be. I'm going to just leave with this song because it's so true and so relevant today.
Good morning or evening, friends. Here's your friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster, could change your joy and laughter to tears and pain. It's that love in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. Hey, going round, breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far. The force of evil plan to make you its possession and it will if we let it destroy everybody. We all must take precautionary measures. If love and peace you treasure, then you'll hear me when I say, oh, oh, that love in need of the love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. Hey, hey, going round, breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far.
And unfortunately, it has gone quite far, but there's still hope. Mama AZ has called in, so I want to give her a chance to speak. Mama AZ, your mic is open. Welcome.
Greetings. Can you hear me, Dr. V?
Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
The comment that you made about the elder, all he needs to do is get a job. I'm not shocked about that because I have a wheelchair that I could roll around in and find apartments. Like I can drive up and down the street and find apartments, you see. So I'm not surprised. Yes, I need help. I'm going on 74, but it doesn't matter. I got a wheelchair, so I should be able to roll up and down the street and go in and put applications. Yes. I'm not kidding you, Dr. V. We got to do a show about this.
I'm telling you. Yeah, our young people are so unconscious. I put up with those statements because I know, okay, I'm dealing with unconscious energy and I can't change adults, but I can change me. And that's why fasting once a week is good for me. It helps me see clearly and I don't react as much. I mean, I would have wanted to slap somebody. I would have slapped somebody in the past and said that, but I just kind of take a deep breath and say, unconscious energy here. I just look out the window and enjoy the clouds in the sky. So yeah, we got our work to do is if only to fly first, love yourself so that you at least can be whole and conscious.
Absolutely. Thank us, Dr. V.
Thank us. Hallelujah. Well, it's after 9. I hope it's December 1st tomorrow. Try and stay positive. Mama AZ, Dr. D says she makes sure you know that you're loved.
Thank us.
Thank us. So it's December 1st tomorrow. Time to look at the lights. Everybody's putting up their lights and getting ready to worship the little baby in the manger. So please just shine your light. Okay, let's not focus so much on the lights out there, but just make sure in here that your light is going to shine. So whatever you're going through, whatever feelings, symptoms in your body, remember these lines. I am whole, healthy, and strong, and every cell in my body is healed, healthy, strong, and full of love and light. Repeat after me. Every cell in my body is healed, healthy, strong, and full of love and light. And so it is. There you go. And we are going to get over this transition from third dimension. But in the meantime, just shine your light this month. Namaste, Sat Nam, Ashe, Ashe, O, Aho, and Shalom. Mwah. Love you.